Welcome everyone to another episode of Larry and Joe, Cybersecurity 101 with Larry and Joe. And Larry, it's been a while since we've caught up, my friend. How have you been?
I've been great, man. Uh, I am in a cybersecurity role as a SOC analyst, so I'm excited.
All right. Now, tell me a little bit about what it's been like at a high level in the last, because you've been in that role for 12 months now.
Yes, I have. Started off at during the weekends, and then now at the beginning of April, I actually started on full time at Patriot, so I'm excited.
All right. Now, for those that maybe didn't listen to some of the earlier episodes, tell our listeners what originally motivated you to transition from your prior. You were in a leadership and management role, in a warehouse, right? What motivated you to transition to a career in cybersecurity?
Wow, it started back in 2015. My cousin, he worked with the U.S. Treasury Department, and he was in cybersecurity. And then I met you a couple of years after that, and I was just so excited and enthused about the field. So it's been a long road, but I'm here now, so
All
I'm
right.
totally excited.
Now, was it what you thought it was? Because back then, you knew your cousin, you knew he was doing well and everything, and but now you've been doing that job for a year now. So is it what you thought it would be?
That and more. It can get pretty intense, and the cool thing about it is every incident is different. It could be if you get somebody that they have a problem, MFA, you know, signing in, but it could mean something different from person to person. So
And
it's very exciting.
just describe your role. What do you do day to day? What does a typical day look like for you?
A typical day for me. I joined the team. Um, I'm um I'm on shift two, on the second shift. We get in. I get into my environment. I have Monday and Tuesdays. I have different clients than I have on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. But I get my clients that I'm working on that day, log into their environment in Sentinel and get going. When the threats come up, I try to respond to those as soon as possible. That's very important to me. And then doing a thorough um, look through of the incident to make sure that there's nothing malice with that or suspicious with that incident. So
Got it. Now you mentioned you're working in Microsoft Sentinel, so that's the tool that you use to kind of monitor security incidents for customers.
yes, Microsoft Sentinel,
Gotcha.
Azure but we have the Cloud 365 that we work
Mm,
with, Microsoft
hmm.
Defender, which is awesome. And then we have KQL that we
Okay.
have to know some of too. So get it took me a while to get a hang of trying to understand and read it, but
Right.
I can now.
Now I've got a very interesting question. So Larry, you went through formal education to prepare for this job in cybersecurity, and tell us a little bit about how you prepared. What was that like? What did you do? And what did you find now looking back, now that you've been in the role for 12 months, what was the most helpful that really prepared you for this role?
Um, so what I learned in school was you learn the basics, which is so very vital in I think in anything in life. Like if you're playing football, the first thing you learn is how to get in the stands, and then you learn the understanding of things. So me going to school, I didn't know then what I know now, but the understanding of everything, the kind of like the background of everything, and learning how everything functions. So how it helps me now in today's role. Um, some of the incidents I might not be familiar 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 with it, but I understand it. So that kind of gets me through, and then I can always through the team with the SOC 2 analysts, and we can go through it. But I have a great understanding of how the incident is through going through school. So that was very, very important. Without that, I don't think I could have made it.
A lot of people always ask us, and they've reached out to you on LinkedIn, you know, formal education versus studying for certifications. Given your role as a SOC analyst, and I think you could really give them some really good feedback. Um, what would you do different than maybe what you did, if anything? Maybe you do the same thing, but maybe walk people through what you did exactly. Like, what school did you go to? What, course did you take? Would you do it the same? What certifications did you study for? Would you do it the same? What's kind of the most helpful in order for you to be really effective in your job?
So I went to my computer career. Um, there, it starts off with A+, so it's just how to build a computer, how the computer functions. Then we went from that to network to server, and understanding the functions of everything and what they do. And we went from that to just regular security, and then went from security to security plus to Linux to server plus to from network to network plus. Then I went from there. I went to CYSA. I went to CCNA. Um, wow, I'm trying. It's been a lot of schooling. I'm trying to think of everything, but it's been this was 2.5 years of schooling,
Yeah.
which prepared me for the role I have today. What would I do differently? I probably would have. Um, I, I, I probably would have been more specific and learned a little bit more about Microsoft than what I did, because it was kind of like an in general. But I'm learning about it now. So
Mm. How did you stay motivated through 2.5 years of studying? Because you were working hard, you had a normal day job, and then you were studying nights and weekends. And you had family, you had a lot going on. Um, what kind of words of encouragement can you give someone who wants to follow your path?
well, it's I think it comes from the Lord, my Christian faith. Um, you don't if you work hard and you believe in the Lord and you pray about it and you believe in it. I just knew it was going to happen, and it was just in His timing. So,
Mm.
and I just continued to work, and whenever I was going to be blessed with it, I was going to, that was going to be a blessing to me and my
Mm.
family. So,
So your faith kind of really was your rock through that
oh
entire
yeah,
time. Do you think it's kind of helpful to look at, day by day as opposed to, stressing about tomorrow, like the Lord said?
yeah, yeah. It's very. I think that's very, very important. I always took it just for that day, and then the next day was a new day. You know, I know before I came on full time with you guys, I was working at a warehouse as a lead, 50 hours a week, plus studying, and then I worked on the weekend with Patriots. But it drove me to just, I really wanted to work with Patriot, the company, and I really wanted to be in cybersecurity. So yeah, and if it would take 5 years, I would have did it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's funny. When you and I started this podcast, the company, that I founded and work for today, Patriot, we did not have a security operations center. We didn't have a SOC. And some of our listeners may not know, we decided to start one last year, a little bit more than a year ago. And I knew that you had been studying for a role as a SOC analyst, so we brought you on our weekend shift to kind of dip your toes in the water. And so what were your initial thoughts and feelings when you first started that day one on the weekend shift? What was that like?
I was excited. I was nervous. because I never worked with Sentinel before, I looked at it and I said, "Oh my gosh, what is all this stuff?" But I was very blessed to have Sahil to work with when I first started off with, and I used to, I used to, I used to on teams, I used to just hit Sahil up so much. I used to be like, "Poor Sahil. Hopefully he can get his work done." But I had a bunch of questions, and I wasn't afraid to ask, and I think that's very important. I was nervous, and I asked a bunch of questions because getting it right was the very most important thing to
There's
me.
a lot of pressure to get it right. If you get an incident assigned to you, right? You're that level one triage, and assigning something as false or true, that could be the difference between a company getting compromised, losing data. Uh, I mean, talk about pressure. How did you deal with the pressure? What was that like?
I think only because I coach football and the pressures of that, and fans and players, and I believed in the Lord so much that
Mm.
I was like, man, I prayed and I said, Lord, just get me through, especially the first weekend and then the second weekend, and then I started getting the hang of some certain, because I got some repeat incidents, and then Sahil and Zach really helped me out in the beginning of showing me a lot of things. You know, okay, you can look at this and that, and then now it's very much like night and day. But I still
So,
get a lot of help from Ray.
so you mentioned several folks that have helped you. So, if you were telling someone who was starting off as a SOC analyst, it sounds like the advice you give would be to A, ask a lot of questions, and
Yeah,
B, make sure you get a mentor that you can be assigned and escalate to. So it sounds like those were kind of, key elements for your early success.
yeah, yeah. I think Sahil, he's been a SOC analyst for some years, and then Zach, and then Ray now. So I definitely I lean on him
Mm.
uh, a lot, because getting it right is the most important to me. It's not my ego or anything. I really want to make sure that we're providing um, uh, whatever company environment I'm looking after with the best security possible. I think that's the Patriot way. So
Yeah. Yeah, you were the fourth person hired. We hired you pretty early on, and we have 19 SOC analysts now. So we've really grown over the last 12 months. We've got I think over 25 customers that we're providing SOC support for. So almost a one-to-one basis, and we continue to grow and everything. But you've got that OG number, that number four spot. Now, can you describe what specific skills or knowledge area have you grown in over the last 12 months? The field of cybersecurity is pretty big, right? There's
very big.
forensics, there's KQL, there's obviously the SOC role. What skill or knowledge have you developed the most?
Uh, I think my knowledge of KQL and my knowledge of starting to understand and how you do forensics. It's a lot more than what I thought.
Hmm.
Doing forensics, it's pretty cool. I love it. So I mean,
Yeah, do you
that's
think do you think it'd be kind of fun if we talk about the one incident that you and I worked on yesterday? So
I think that'd be awesome.
yeah, so your supervisor was on a well-deserved, vacation, and so you reached out to me. If you remember, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what was the incident, and then what kind of forensics did we do to kind of determine if it was a true positive or false positive?
So it was a medium incident. I think the incident was a malice sign-in from uh, from a bad IP.
Hmm.
So normally, what I do is I go and I look at, I check the IP address. Uh, I make sure I check it on two different sites that I check it on, or three different, and then see if it's malice or not, and then where it's at. And then I go in and I check the sign-in logs to see if it signed in. Because if it failed to sign in, then that's something I definitely wouldn't escalate
Hmm.
to the client. But if it's a successful sign in, then that's something I'll escalate. So I didn't see it on the 24, but when you did a little bit more forensics, you went back 7 days. It landed on I think it was on the 14th, if I
Hmm.
remember
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
But then you went from there, and we did some more forensics because we didn't. What I did was I changed the user's password,
Hmm.
but that maybe wasn't enough.
Hmm.
So you went back, you went into the audit logs. We found out through the audit logs, uh, when did this, because it wasn't just me who did password reset. I think it was the admin too,
Hmm. Hmm.
because he was
Yeah.
notified.
Yeah, so we kind of looked at, the history, and there was an incident, I believe, where there was a Chinese IP, I think, that signed into the account, and then you reset the password, and that was a while back, and then you had this new incident signed, um, about this, kind of malicious IP or suspicious IP. And then we determined in the sign-in logs that the new activity was all failed attempts. There was no successful sign into the account. So there was therefore no need to escalate. So we kind of dug into it. Was really fun to tag team with you.
Oh yeah.
And I really enjoyed working with you on that. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's just continuous growth. It's continuous learning. Even for me, like I started getting into this cybersecurity game called KC7, and I've been playing in there a lot. It's kind of like a gamified capture the flag kind of game where they present tables and use KQL, and you hunt for, malicious activity, and you answer questions, and so I've been in there a lot growing, and my KQL skills is light years ahead of where it was before. I know in the future we want to hopefully have the founder of KC7 on this podcast so we can talk about his journey.
Oh yeah.
He's an incredible person. He actually works at Microsoft, and I had a chance to meet him and speak to him recently, and told him about you and everything. And so, I know he's excited and eager to meet you. And Patriot has now become a corporate sponsor of KC7. So we are actually paying the bill for their Azure environment for 12 months. So we really believe in that game. We really believe in its ability to help people, grow in their cybersecurity skills. And, it can, I know it's being used in K through 12, and college, and even professionals are getting in and having a good time and learning on it as well. But um, I wanted to. I know we have a few questions here. Uh, one of the questions was, "What's the?" You were on the weekend shift for a while, and then it was really clear that at that point this was for you. You knew that you were enjoying it. You had excelled, and there was kind of this time where it's like, okay, you wanted to move over to the full-time Monday through Friday shift. So you left your old job, you
Yeah.
you joined Patriot as a full-time employee. And what was that like? What was the transition like going from a contractor on the weekend to being a full-time Patriot employee throughout the week?
I was very nervous at the beginning and a little bit intense. I mean, on the weekend, I mean, we had our share of incidents, but on a weekday, it's a little bit more intense because we're dealing directly with customers, and this is when people are at work, so they're more the users. They're there, so the incidents can be a little bit more. So I was mainly nervous with my communication with our customers because I want to make sure that I give them the right information.
Gotcha.
And
So the
uh,
volume sounds like the volume was higher when you made
oh
the
yeah.
transition. And then you were mentioning also when we were kind of talking, preparing for this, that you were saying that some industries, some types of companies generate more security incidents than others. Can you tell listeners a little bit about what you mean by that?
Yeah, I feel that the healthcare industry, their incidences are up a little bit more, and definitely the hotels, and you can probably see why their incidence is up a little bit more than anyone else because you have just the workers within the hotels, you have users that log on to um, they'll log on to their IP address, and they'll
Mhm.
use their internet or Wi-Fi or stuff like that. So uh, you have to look out for that.
Mm.
And then I think with healthcare, you have the workers, but then you have different incidents with them too because they would HIPAA, so they have different incidents that pop out there. But you have because you can sometimes if you go to a doctor's office, some people connect to their Wi-Fi too, so you can have some just customers that pop in there, or just people that actually that's in the hospital or something like
Mm.
that. So
Mhm.
that's probably the difference.
What's been the most rewarding aspect of your job since you know, joining Patriot? What's is it like when customers show appreciation and thank you for finding stuff, or what have you enjoyed the most?
You just hit it right on the nail. I love it when the customers are happy and my cybersecurity team is happy and supervisors and stuff. That means we're doing something right.
Mm.
Customer satisfaction is very important. So I really try to do my best in doing that and making sure they get the right information and what they need.
Yeah, you and I were kind of looking at your stats before this call, and it's really quite impressive that in 12 months, I think you've only missed the service level agreement like 3 times out of thousands and thousands of incidents. So you're responding on average, I think, in under 15 minutes on an incident, which allows, if an attacker gets in, we kick them out pretty quick,
Yeah.
and that's incredible. So, I'm impressed. I mean, it's clear you enjoy it. It's clear you're doing really well. How has the mentorship that you received influenced your success, and does that inspire you to be a mentor to others?
Yes, actually. I mean, the mentorship I get I get from Ray now, and I got from Sahil, and I get from Zach. It really wants me to go out and reach out to some others and help. And I know Patriot has a great program where they go out and they help um, just people, individuals, or companies or something. And I think that's just so. I think that's so great of giving back. So that's another great aspect about working with Patriot. So,
Hmm. How would you describe the team dynamics and the culture of a SOC? What's it like?
oh man, everything is great because um, normally we are Monday and Tuesday, we are a 3-man team, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're a 4-man team. And if it's something, if Ray maybe be caught up in something, or I can go to Rafa, or I can go to Focon, and just we can go back and forth on things, which is great, and everyone gives everyone great feedback. So if you ever need help, it's just right there
Mm.
too. So I usually go to my team first, but then even with Patriot, I can always you know eh, go to you or Zach or anybody else. So I mean, it's a great. I love it. So I
Mm.
mean, I never feel like I'm out there by myself.
Mhm. You mentioned 3 and 4 man teams. So is that like per shift, and what's like the shift schedules like? And it sounds like for someone listening, they may not appreciate you know, how many shifts it takes to run a SOC so people don't burn out, and the weekend crew's got to be different so that the Monday through Friday crew can have a weekend. Like, can you maybe explain, how that works?
Yeah. So we're second shift. So we start 8 o'clock Pacific time from 8 to 4, and on Monday and Tuesday we are a three-man team, and we divide up all the clients because which I think is so great about Patriot. They don't want you to do 400 incidents in one day, just one SOC. I mean, that's a lot. And then what that does is cut down on any errors, someone just rushing through it just to meet the SLA or anything like that. So, we get a sizable amount, believe
Mhm.
me, but we're able to actually go through the incidents and a good time to make sure, and really do some good research on it. So.
How many incidents do you think you work on a single shift? What's like an average, or what's
Uh,
I know it changes all the time, right? Like one day is not always the same, right? But
about 100.
about 100 or
So
so. Hmm.
yeah, about 100 or so. Not too many high incidents. A lot of medium,
Hmm.
uh, a lot of informational, and
Hmm.
tons of lows. But about 100.
Hmm. And is that about like a reasonable workload, like, much more than that, and it's, you can't do the quality investigation, and do you, and then is there ever a day where it gets boring because there's just not enough, incidents, or what's that like?
No, it's always something to do. We got this thing called Perfect Wiki that if you really don't have nothing to do, you can go through that. If I really don't have, which I always have something to do, but for the most part, if you really have any extra time, which is good with Patriot, I mean, you got KQ7 if you want to catch up on learning some of your KQL and stuff like that, and it's a lot of other things. But my shift is it's going, and I don't see anyone, and even with the new clients and stuff like that, really having that much time. I mean,
Mm,
it's I don't know what the average is for everyone, but I know I
mhm,
average about 100, and I can
mm,
imagine that Ray and Boca and
mhm.
Rob are probably up somewhere around there too.
Yeah.
It goes in the weekdays.
Yeah. So what we do kind of behind the scenes is every week as a leadership team, we look at the average number of incidents per SOC analyst. And as soon as it starts kind of creeping up above 100 per SOC analyst, then we know we need to hire more SOC analysts. And that's basically how we figured out how to make sure that we're able to maintain a response time within the SLA, the service level agreement that we promised the customer, is just making sure that we don't overwhelm the analyst, and that way we're serving our current customers and our future customers well. It's really based on those averages and response times, and then we are very transparent. We report whenever we've missed, a response time. If we said we were going to respond in a certain amount of time and we took longer, we let the client know that. So there's incredible incentive for us to, make sure that we're staffing well. We also try to reward. Don't we maybe tell everybody about the Defender of the Week, and what are some of the metrics we look at to reward the top SOC analyst on a weekly basis?
Um, First, if you make it to your shift on time, and then I think they look at the amount of incidents and your SLA. If you met that, I don't remember
Mhm,
all the metrics. I
mhm.
know, and your response time. I think I know. I met. I was defender of the week 1 week.
Nice. Yeah, it's very competitive, right? We have a lot of people,
Yeah,
trying
Rafa
to
got it twice,
try.
and Ray
Yeah.
got it twice. I gotta
Yep.
catch him.
Yep. How has this career changed? Because, very radically different than what you used to. You've had many types of careers. That's one of the things that really fascinates me about you. I think one of these days they should make a movie or a book about your life, because you've done so many cool things. I mean, you had incredible success not only as an athlete but as a coach and a recording artist. And I really respect you as a leader. I think, oh, man, you're such a cool person. I think you'd be like an incredible boss, to be. You're so calm, and you've got such just good charisma and everything. So what's it been like, this career change? How has it impacted your personal life and your overall well-being?
My wife's loving it, so she loves it. it got me into the routine of going to the gym in the morning. Now I can actually do that before I start my shift, and I love the life work balance is really good. Really, I'm really starting. The first couple of weeks, it was different because I'm so used to hands on with working with people. I have a team, hey, hands on, but I'm getting used to now working from home and
Mm.
understanding those dynamics and the dynamics of working from home, like the team working from home, the dynamics of that. But
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are different there. One, you
yeah,
used to go into the office, now you work from home. Two, you used to manage people, now you're individual contributor. Um, and but you're able to now go to the gym more, and so it's a big life change. I've also recently been able to spend more time with exercise. So I'm doing jujitsu now every morning and before work, and I'm absolutely loving that. Having an outlet. I think we all need an outlet. Some kind of hobby or exercise and stuff, and so I'm really enjoying that. What let's see here. Um, okay, let's talk about this podcast. How has co-hosting this podcast influenced your professional growth and communication skills? And any I know people reach out to you on LinkedIn pretty often, but what's that been like?
so man, the podcast. I mean, we met and we spoke to some very very prominent people in the IT world. Dwayne Dunstan, if I can
Hmm.
remember his name
That's right.
right. That guy was incredible. And
Hmm.
then the other guy that we met, that we did, and he was like the head. I don't know if it was Bush or Clinton or Obama's cybersecurity team. Wow. You meet those guys. I still I feel like a small fry to those guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch. I mean, those guys were like they were like big wigs. I was sitting there like, whoa. So that really inspired me, and not even them. And the one guy that we met that was he's with Microsoft and he was the head of some team in Microsoft. I can't remember his name.
Hmm.
Very inspirational.
Yeah.
His love for the Lord too. Yeah, I mean,
Terrence. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fun one. And could you share maybe a favorite moment or topic that we covered on the podcast that really stands out to you?
WireGuard. When we did with Dwayne Dunstan, I did not know that they had a little box that you can put in your house that you can hide all your information. I mean, that dude he was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That was a good one. Um, and what do you want to see this podcast kind of evolve to? Like, what do you kind of see next, and where do you want to take this?
I wanted to evolve more into the day-to-day operations, like of a SOC analyst, like some of the threats that we do see, some of the steps we do go through to see if it's malice or not, or if it's a true positive or if it's a false positive. Just bring some of those scenarios up on what we see on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Like you always said, we're the front line, so we see those things right then and there. So
Right. Any particular guests that you'd like to have on?
yes, I want to have Ray. I told
Okay.
him, I said, man, I was asked, I would talk to Joe, I want to get you on here. And then definitely the guy that that started the KQ KC7.
KC7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simeon. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Cool. We'll get them scheduled, and talk about incidents and day to day and everything. And this is really cool. Well, any other last thoughts or parting advice for anyone listening?
My last thought is AI.
Hmm.
How do we, Joe? What are your thoughts on AI?
Yeah.
That is like the big thing going around right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, there there is so much happening with AI, and it's rapidly evolving to the point, like, where is it today, first of all? So, Microsoft has introduced a tool for SOC analysts called Copilot for security. And essentially, what this allows the SOC analyst to do is, you know, have more context about an incident that's being investigated. Like, you know, it'll write KQL for the SOC analyst, and it will bring in additional background and information that may not be readily apparent, or that may require the analyst to spend a lot more time. So it allows them to work more efficiently. That's kind of the promise. Now, we took an early look at it, and with, like, the day it came out, I turned it on. We started exploring it, investigating it, and it's got incredible potential. Now, it's available for a customer to turn on in their environment, but the uh, ability for the customer to assign it to an MSSP, and an MSSP in particular, like us, like a managed SOC security company, to be able to use it to um, investigate clients is not yet available. So we're kind of watching for that, and I think as soon as that feature is available, we'll explore equipping our analysts so that they can use it. Essentially, it's going to make your job, you know, more efficient. You'll be able to investigate things a little faster. It'll bring things to light that you may not have considered about that. Like, hey, this person, historically they've always used, this, Mac, and suddenly they're signing in from Linux. That's odd. And you may have, previously known to go and look for something like that, but this is going to, like, surface it right in front of you so you can have more additional information, and vice versa. Hey, this is coming from the person's normal machine they've always used, and therefore you can take that into consideration. So that's kind of where I see it in the near term, say in the next 12 months, really helping the SOC analysts. Now, as a whole, AI as a whole is obviously a much bigger beast in terms of how it's going to influence society. And we're in an election year, so there's a lot of concern with AI, deep fake videos, and influencing social media, and also from a cyber crime perspective. There was a story recently where the criminal organization used AI to deep fake and get a large wire transfer. So, it had the voice of the CEO saying, "Hey, I need you to go transfer this money," and very compelling, audio, because AI can mimic someone's voice now, and video and everything. They can take a still photo and make a video of that person talking just from a photo, and reproduce someone's voice only from 3 seconds of listening to their voice. So when you answer a phone call and you just, "Hey, this is Larry," that's enough for AI to now own your voice, and have a full conversation with a relative, telling them to go and bail you out of jail, and they need to send your PayPal money. And it's so, from a crime perspective, I think good job security for cybersecurity. We're always going to be on our toes and always responding, because there is evil in this world, and as long as people follow that dark side in their soul and try to take what doesn't belong to them and take what belongs to other people, then we're going to need good guys that respond and block and evict, and try to prevent. And that's our mission, right? Our mission is helping our clients reduce their risks, and to protect them from getting hacked. That's what we're about here. And so anyone listening that wants to join the fight, I'll have some tools in the notes, in the show notes, where you can dig in there and see how you can learn and grow. And we'll have some of the school hyperlinks where Larry went, and so you can follow his path, and connect with Larry on LinkedIn, and go from there. But thank you all for listening, Larry. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on all your success, my friend. It's such a pleasure and joy getting to work with you and seeing your growth. So,
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. And thank you, Joe, for giving me the opportunity to show my skills and and yeah, I still got a lot of work to do. So I'm excited. I'm ready to dig in and dig in there. Still some other things I want to learn in the cybersecurity world. So.
that's it. Well, I'll see you at the company trip here in
Oh yeah.
soon. And thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.